The Chernobyl exclusion zone, a desolate expanse frozen in time. Abandoned buildings stand as grim reminders of a disaster that unfolded decades ago. Towering above this wasteland is the new Safe Confinement, a massive steel structure encasing the ruins of Reactor 4, a symbol of humanity's attempt to contain a nuclear nightmare. But on February 14, 2025, the silence of this haunted landscape was shattered. A deafening explosion ripped through the air, sending shockwaves across the exclusion zone. The unthinkable had happened. Chernobyl, a site synonymous with nuclear disaster, had been attacked. A Russian drone, armed with a high-explosive warhead, had struck the new Safe Confinement. The drone's impact was sudden and devastating, catching everyone off guard. The new Safe Confinement, a structure designed to contain the remnants of the Chernobyl disaster, was now under a new kind of threat. The attack breached the outer cladding of the structure, igniting a fire that sent plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. The thick, dark smoke was visible for miles, a grim signal of the unfolding catastrophe. The fire raged uncontrollably, feeding on the damaged materials and spreading rapidly. Emergency crews raced to extinguish the blaze, a desperate battle against time and the invisible threat of radiation. Firefighters in hazmat suits braved the intense heat and toxic fumes, their faces set with determination. Every second counted as they fought to prevent the fire from reaching the reactor's core. The world watched with bated breath, the horrifying images a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of nuclear disaster. News channels broadcasted live updates, and social media buzzed with fear and speculation. People everywhere were glued to their screens, hoping for a miracle. Initial reports offered a glimmer of hope. Radiation levels remained normal both inside and outside the containment structure. Scientists and technicians worked tirelessly, monitoring the situation with advanced equipment. Their faces showed relief, but also a deep concern for what might come next. But the world knew that the situation remained precarious. The threat of radiation loomed large and the potential for further damage was ever present. As emergency crews continued their efforts, the global community held its breath, united in hope and fear.
The date, April 26, 1986, is etched into the collective memory of humanity. It marks the day when the world witnessed one of the most catastrophic nuclear disasters in history. It was on that fateful day that Reactor 4 at Chernobyl exploded, sending shockwaves across the globe. The explosion released a massive plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating vast areas and affecting countless lives. The disaster, the worst nuclear accident in history, forced the evacuation of Pripyat, a city once teeming with life. Over 49,000 residents had to leave their homes, never to return. The new Safe Confinement, completed in 2019 at a cost of over €2 billion, was built to contain the radioactive remnants of Reactor 4, preventing further contamination. This monumental structure stands as a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. The drone strike, a chilling echo of the 1986 disaster, threatened to unravel decades of painstaking work to secure the site. It served as a stark reminder of the ongoing challenges in managing the legacy of Chernobyl.
The world held its breath, praying that this act of aggression would not spiral into an even greater catastrophe. People everywhere were glued to their screens, anxiously awaiting updates, their hearts heavy with fear and uncertainty. The tension was palpable, a collective anxiety that transcended borders and languages. The specter of Chernobyl, a haunting reminder of the destructive power of nuclear energy, loomed large over a world on edge. Memories of the disaster resurfaced, bringing with them a chilling realization of the potential for history to repeat itself. The scars of Chernobyl were not just physical but deeply psychological, a trauma that the world had hoped to never relive. The International Atomic Energy Agency echoed President Zelensky's concerns, calling for restraint and urging all parties to respect the sanctity of nuclear facilities. Their message was clear: the world could not afford another nuclear disaster. Diplomatic efforts intensified, with international diplomats working tirelessly to de-escalate the situation and prevent further escalation. In the wake of the attack, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the world, his voice heavy with anger and despair. His words were a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict, a plea for sanity in a time of madness. Zelensky's determination was evident, his resolve unshaken despite the immense pressure he faced. He condemned the attack as an act of terrorism, a blatant disregard for human life and international law. His condemnation was not just a political statement, but a heartfelt cry for justice, a demand for accountability. The world watched, waiting to see how the international community would respond to this brazen act of aggression.